Hi everyone and welcome to part 5 of my Kobolds and Catacombs card reveals. Unfortunately I don't have any cards like King Togwaggle today, but I do have a couple of Spellstones that have been revealed, so that's interesting for us to take a look at. I will be doing daily videos of all of the updates of the cards as they come out, so if you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button. So first up we've got a Mage Secret. It's a rare Mage Secret, costs 3 mana. And it's called Explosive Runes and reads, after your opponent plays a minion, deals 6 damage to it and any excess damage to their hero. So Mage has already got a lot of powerful secrets, and on the face of it this card looks okay, because if an opponent plays a minion and you get to deal 6 damage to it, it can be quite a huge tempo swing, because if it completely eradicates that minion it could have wasted their turn, so it can be quite good. But when you look at the other Mage secrets, I'm not really sure how strong this one is, to be honest. There's a couple of other ones which do similar things to this. Firstly, Mirror Entity. After your opponent plays a minion, summon a copy of it. Now I think this one would be better in most situations than Explosive Runes, because the only way for your opponent to play around this secret is for them to play a low cost minion. So it instantly disrupts their turn and then you get a copy of that minion. Plus, if they, quite often you can get a really good minion off of this if you play it later on in the game. So obviously they're both situational, but I think Mirror Entity probably comes out on top. Secondly, if you wanted to have this effect of killing the minion when they play it, you're probably better off playing Potion of Polymorph. Now this, obviously when your opponent plays a minion it changes them into a 1/1 sheep. Because I think with the Explosive Runes, I don't think the damage that you do to the opponent's face is really going to be that important. Obviously in some cases it will be, in some cases you could kill them with it, but I think overall what you want more is the board control. And if you play Potion of Polymorph, it will destroy that minion that the opponent plays. And what it does do is plays around death rattles. So in some cases Explosive Runes could be bad. If your opponent is expecting it, they can play one of their recruit minions with the lower stats and then recruit a much higher cost minion from their deck. So once the Explosive Runes kills it. So this card has its uses, it's strong in some situations, but I just don't think you would want to use it over any of the existing Mage secrets. Next up is another Mage card, and this is their Spellstone. So each of the classes are going to be getting a Spellstone. We've seen a few of them are released already, but this is the one for the Mage class. And if you don't know how Spellstones work, what happens is they start off as quite a weak card, but then if you do certain conditions in the game, you can upgrade it twice to a greater Ruby Spellstone, and then you get a much stronger effect. So in this case, this one is for the Mage. It costs 2 mana and it's a rare card, and it adds a random Mage spell to your hand. It's not perfect, you probably wouldn't want to play it in the lesser Ruby Spellstone state, but it just gives you an idea that actually getting a random Mage spell can be quite powerful. And the way to upgrade it is to play 2 elementals. So this is obviously playing very much into an elemental Mage deck, and I actually really like the elemental Mage deck. I don't think it's, well, in current meta I don't think it's a top tier deck, but it is fun, and using Frostlich's Jaina can be a really good card. I'd really like to see the Mage elemental deck push forward, which it looks like they might do with this. So if you play 2 elementals, which it really isn't going to be very difficult, you just have to play 2 fireflies to do that, it will upgrade, and then you get 2 random Mage spells for the same cost, 2 mana. Then if you play 2 more elementals, which again in an elemental Mage deck is not going to be hard, you then get to add 3 random Mage spells to your hand for 2 mana. So it essentially becomes a Kobolist Home, which costs 5 mana, but you get to play it for 2 mana. So this card, I don't think it's going to be a complete game changer, but it is a card. If you're playing an Elemental Mage, I think you just automatically just put it in there, because you're going to be playing enough Elementals to be able to activate this, and to spend 2 mana and get 3 random Mage spells, that's going to be really strong. It's not... you're not always going to get the spells you want, but usually the Mage spells that you do get will be usable. Next up is another Spellstone, and this is the Paladin Spellstone. So again, it's 2 mana, it's a rare card, and this one says summon a 2/2 spirit with taunt and restore 3 health to upgrade. And then if you upgrade it once by restoring 3 health, you can summon a 4/4 spirit, and if you upgrade it twice, it summons a 6/6 spirit with Taunt. So this card is an anti-aggro card, and it synergizes very well with the Benevolent Djinn that we saw revealed yesterday. Again, I don't think this card is immensely powerful, but I think it would be put into a lot of Paladin decks where you're playing a control deck, you're trying to beat out the aggro cards, because restoring 3 health isn't going to be that difficult, because all you have to do is play 1 Benevolent Djinn. Then if you've got 2 of them in your deck, then that's enough to get you to play a 2 mana 6/6 spirit with Taunt. So this card isn't going to win the game for you on its own again, but I think playing 2 mana 6/6 Taunt, that's going to be really strong. And if you're playing against an aggro deck, like Pirate Warrior for example, you may even want to just play it 2 mana 2/2 with Taunt. Depending on what situation you're in the game, it can be really strong depending on what other cards you've got in your hand. If you haven't got any healing in sight, you may just want to play it 2 mana 2/2 with Taunt, which for 2 mana doesn't give you great stats, but it could be the difference between life or death in that game. So there's been quite a few anti-aggro cards that we've seen introduced into this expansion, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out, and it looks like Paladin will be one of those classes where you can play more of a control deck. So the final card I've got to show you today is a legendary minion for the Rogue class. It's a 3 mana 2/2, and it's called Sonya Shadowdancer. Now this card's quite interesting because of its effect that it's got, and the effect is after a friendly minion dies, add a 1/1 mana copy of it to your hand, which costs 1. So we have seen this effect before with the Shadowcaster, which is quite an impactful card. It costs more mana, but you're almost guaranteed to get it because you just have to, it's a battle cry basically. Whereas this card, you have to play Sonya onto the board, and then you have to kill off your other minions somehow. So there's quite a lot of setup that's required to make this card worthwhile. So you have to have at least 1 minion already on the board which is able to attack. It then has to be able to die, because it might not be able to. But if you do pull it off, then it can give you some really powerful combos. So getting a 1 mana 1/1 back to your hand, like a Vilespine Slayer for example, that can be really strong with Rogue. I mean, they already do that with Shadow Step at the moment. Van Cleef would work really well. Any minions with Death Rattle will be great because you can play a 1 mana minion. Although it's got the small body now, it still has exactly the same Death Rattle effect, so that can be really really good. Whether or not this is going to see enough play is unclear. Because the stats of the card itself, 3 mana 2/2 is weak. So if you're just playing this on the board on turn 3, what have you got on the card? Maybe a Swashbuckler? Getting a Swashbuckler back is fine, that's not too bad, but it's exactly the same as what you would play as a normal Swashbuckler. I don't know, I think it will be played, but I don't think it will be an essential card. It has the potential to create some really great combos, as a lot of these new cards do, but it remains to be seen as to whether this will be really a strong legendary. It would be a lot more powerful card if you were able to make it stealthed. So let's just see what the other cards get released, but it's another legendary. It's got another interesting effect. I'm a little bit worried Rogue's got too many ways to get these cards back to their hand now, but we'll see. Let's see how this progresses. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. I'll be doing daily updates, and like the video if you enjoyed it. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.